Okay, let's see what live stream on YouTube's doing. It's going to have to go to my page at jcarter@notreaching.com.
On your Facebook?
On my YouTube.
YouTube, okay. Should you send me something? Okay, wait a minute. Give me that again. In my email because I'll do a blast.
Was it Jay Carter what?
We can't hear you, babe.
You can send you the link.
Okay, you got it.
Through email. Wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, hold on a second. I can't get over here. Don't lean back too much. Okay, I'm sending you the link. Mike, I just sent it via email.
Okay.
Hold on, let me go grab my phone. It's going to send it. You guys still stay on.
Yep, I'm going to send it to you, Tony.
Send that link out to people to get on.
Got it. So there we go.
I'm going to send it to Tony. Okay.
I can send it to Tony right now.
Okay, good.
It's
Tony. Okay, Tony, there you go, buddy. I just texted to you.
Texted to me or?
I just texted to you.
Can you hear me? I don't think so.
Wait a minute, I'm copying the link now.
Can y'all guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mike, email me that link.
Okay, doing it now.
And I texted this on my phone. And then I can put the YouTube link.
You got it. Hey, Tony, you should have it in just a few seconds. On its way. We'll give everybody about 10 minutes to kind of 5-10 minutes to get on, and then we'll go ahead and start. I've already put it up on my Facebook page.
Okay.
After minutes to get on, and then we'll go ahead and
All right, I see you on YouTube. All right, now let me drop it to my page.
I've already put it up on my Facebook page. I see Wayne. Good. All right. So we give it just a few minutes and we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Got to get a few more people on. We're looking good. So far, we got 9. See
you on YouTube. All right, now let me drop it to my page.
David Stephen is watching. What's up, David Stephen?
All right, we rolling.
Good job, Tony. All right. So we give it just a few minutes and we're going to get started.
Okay.
Got to get a few more people on. We're looking good so far. We got 9. Looking good, looking good. David Stephen is watching. What's up, David Stephen?
All right. We go.
Good job, Tony. All right. So we give it just a few minutes and we're going to get started.
Okay.
Got a few more people on. We're looking good so far. We got 9. Looking good, looking good.
Hey, Big Mike.
Very good, man. Okay. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got people logging on right now, which is great. And I want to welcome everybody to this incredible show that we've got right here. It's called Kings of Conversation. And before we do that, I want to, as they say, behind every man, there are great women. I want to give a shout out to Janetta Boone, Deborah Brown, Susie Official, Lori Carter, Casey Love, Tracy in Boston, Janine and Aurora, my sisters with sister to sister. And I want to thank my brothers, Corey Bucket, Rob Miko, Tito Star, the 6th man. I'm representing your shirt again tonight, brother. My man Chris Thomas, Todd with sister to sister, and my brother Peace in the Morning. I want to thank you guys for always supporting anything that I do, and God bless you for that. Wanted to put this show together because in talking with some of my brothers, there's just sometimes not an outlet where brothers or men can sit down and talk about our issues. And I wanted to pull together some incredible men to sit down to talk about men's issues. Not black men, not Hispanic men, this is about men, period. So this is not about bashing any other culture or anybody. It's just really about brothers coming together to sit down to talk about our issues in the community, what we deal with, how we feel about things, and why some of the things happen with us, so that other cultures or the women, other people, family members can understand where we're coming from. And I brought together some incredible men to do that with. And I'm going to pass the mic around in just a moment. Tony Winger is a great friend of mine. I've been knowing Tony almost, I think, 11, 12 years. I met him right here in Washington, D.C. He's been like a big brother to me. And I met Wayne about a couple of years ago through his foundation. He and his wife have a pouch called Not Reaching. He's going to tell you more about that. Tony Winger has been in the music business, I want to say, since he came out into the world. I think he came out singing. Came out singing a song, but Tony's been in the music business and has worked with Zap, has worked with Sade, has worked with all kinds of musical groups. He was just on Unsung with Zap. He doesn't want me to talk about that.
With Sky.
With Sky, yeah, I said Zap with Sky. But I'm going to pass the mic around. I want to start with you, Tony. Let everybody know who you are, brother, and tell them about yourself.
And I'm just a regular guy, really. Spent most of my adult life in the music business. Had a short stint in the computer business. Navy veteran. I spent my early childhood in Jamaica, lived in Bronx and Brooklyn, born in Washington, D.C. As you said, I've worked with several different record companies. A lot of different.
Speak up a little bit, Tony. We can barely hear you, brother.
You know, I put on my cool voice, man.
Bring it.
When we get loud.
There you go.
Yeah, they know I can get loud.
I know, right?
do have a big
I
mouth.
was like, where's Tony at?
Yeah, let me go back and get him. I'll get him in a minute. Hold on.
Right.
At any rate, yeah, I am excited about this, man. You and I talked about this a while back.
Absolutely.
In a different sort of platform, but you know, this is the maiden voice, so you know, I don't think we're gonna get too deep this afternoon or this evening, but we definitely going to talk about some issues that affect us as men, period. All men, but primarily men who look like you and I.
Exactly.
So that's where I am, and looking forward to. We got talk about substance abuse issues and all of that.
Absolutely.
I still involved in some things with the music business, and also licensed addiction counselor
Uh-huh.
in the DMV. So got a lot of things going on with that as well, trying to help folks save their lives. So
Right.
I'm grateful that God saved mine and put me in a position where I can help other people.
Absolutely.
And certainly, that's my mission at this point. So
Absolutely. Hey,
I'm
but
just
Tony,
grateful for our friendship.
Tony, my brother Peace in the Morning, who's joining us, he wants you to, he says, turn your volume up or speak louder. They can still barely hear you.
Okay, let me see here. Where's the volume?
Thank you guys for watching. Let us know how you guys are hearing us out there and everything. Thank you, Tony, for that great introduction too, man. And Wayne, tell everybody about who you are. Wayne. Wayne, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, please introduce yourself, Wayne.
Okay, sounds good. My name's Wayne. I'm married. I've been married for 31 years. Come May 27th, I have 2 sons. I can hear you guys.
Hey, Wayne,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
you're doing your introduction, baby? We can hear you. Can you come go ahead and finish, please?
Okay. Yeah, I sit on the board of directors for the Alliance for Safe Traffic Stops, ASTS. I'm the director of training and education. Okay, yeah. I'm a director of training and sit on director of training and education. I'm the regional sales manager for Not Reaching. Have two sons, two grandkids, and excited about being part of this platform that we got going on tonight.
Excellent, brother. Excellent. Well, I met Wayne and Jackie through through their organization called Not Reaching. If you guys are by your computer or anywhere or write this down, I think it's www.notreaching.com. Please look them up. They have an incredible pouch to help detour killings in our community when it comes to police brutality and police killings. Please look them up. Please know about what their movement is about, because it's not just a pouch, it is a movement. Jack and Wayne have done a lot with the police department, a lot with the community, a lot with mothers whose sons have been killed by police brutality, in particular Philando Castile's mother and Jackie have become very good friends and have done a lot thus far to help with this matter. The first topic we want to deal with, man, obviously is COVID-19. We want to talk about how you guys have been dealing with COVID-19. I'll tell you personally, for me, I couldn't believe when this first kind of came about. A little bit of confusion, because in my years of being here on this planet, I had never seen anything quite like what we're going through right now. There's, a lot of conversation about how this happened, and thus far, and what I want to do is I want us to touch on tonight, to touch on COVID-19, how you guys have been dealing with COVID-19. And for me, I took a couple of weeks off, obviously, to get my head together and get in the game. But for me, it's been about dealing with, dealing with just staying sane, dealing with not getting, letting the anxiety set in, staying focused, trying to stay busy, stay working. And so those have been the things that I've been trying to do to deal with COVID-19, so that I don't get lost in CNN and all of these other things, because the media will tell us every day that this is getting worse. It's going to come back. and that we're all going to at some point die from this. So I'm really leaning on God to show me the way, and show us the way, and to give us a path and a light to get through this. So that's what I've been doing personally, and staying busy to get to get over this. Gentlemen, what have you how have you guys been handling COVID-19?
Tony, you want to go?
You can go out either way. You right there. Let's do it.
All right, well, I'm better now, and I was on another computer and stuff, so it was kind of messing me up, but I'm here now, and I'm ready to roll. Let's do this.
Okay.
Hey, brother, how have you been dealing with COVID-19, Wayne?
Well, you know what? It's been rough. We'll say that it's been rough, and I think it's been rough for like all of us. But when we want to talk about COVID-19, as far as a man, I think it's you get some good out of it, and there's some bad in it. You know what I mean? And I just think right now, as far as a man and as far as a Black man, I think it's a lot of opportunities that we have in front of us that we're not actually looking at. So when we talk about being quarantined, I think it's actually bringing us back together as far as family. So being on lockdown and everything is actually building relationships back and doing a lot of them other things that we got away from doing. You know what I mean? So I think as a man, it continues to allow you to be the leader and the head, so you control what's going on during the quarantine in your house, So for me, I mean, it's like I said, it's rough. I mean, it's only me and my wife, so we're kind of used to each other after 31 years, so we don't have as many different situations as other people that have kids and have to do the schooling and everything like that. You know what I mean? So I feel kind of blessed in that way, but still at the same time, you still have to show an example and move in the right direction and be an example during this COVID-19 as far as staying safe and protecting you and your family, and I know it's hard to, not be able to run out and do some of the things you do, but like I said, sometimes this is a good thing.
Exactly.
I am not married, excuse me, and I live by myself. So I spend a lot of time with me, and quite frankly, I'm rather comfortable being with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got some family situations going on that I have to be a part of. With youngest daughter's mom, she wound up with being diagnosed with lung cancer. So whenever there's a need, I go get the medication, or if I have to take it to the doctor, whatever. So that's really my interaction. I go to the grocery store, I come back. I don't do a whole lot of moving around. I got enough to keep me busy here at home. I actually, since we were going to do this show this evening, actually made my bed because it's yeah, because I do the bachelor thing real well,
Right.
But I'm sure maybe my mom might be looking down at me some morning and asking me, am I losing my mind? Boy, make that bed up. But the joy of this thing is to be able to have the technology where we can talk to each other. I've talked to people I haven't talked to in years. People are calling me, I'm calling people, calling other family members. I've got situations in my family where there are some cousins, two different households, and their sisters, everyone in the house, I think everyone, I haven't gotten an update yet, but COVID is running rampant in those households. I had two cousins in New York, both of them were sick. I got a report from Grizz, he's doing better now. So, there's a lot going on. This thing, being by yourself can be challenging for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People get frustrated. It's like, I hear the word bored a lot. I was like, read a book.
Write a book, right?
Yeah, there you go. Write a book. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Yeah, be about it.
We all have life experiences that we can share with other people. Certainly, I'm over 60 years old and some change, so I got a lot I could talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the day, this is a time I think I posted something a few weeks back. I said, first I said maybe this COVID-19 is the precursor to martial law.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said later on, maybe God is making the people sick so he can heal the land.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I've seen some stories about, the air is becoming clearer, the water is becoming clearer. A lot of different things are happening
Yeah, yeah,
in the earth.
yeah. The universe. Yeah.
Yeah, the universe is lining. Or this earth is realigning with the universe.
You can actually see the Hollywood sign now.
Man, let me tell you something. You can probably see the Hollywood sign. I can see the difference in the color of the grass and the tree.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, yeah.
It's a joy to be able to see. The air is even feels cleaner.
Yeah.
It's just a whole nother kind of thing. But at the end of the day, you know, there are a lot of things in place that we have to practice. There's a lot of scientific things that I don't know about, I don't understand, but I understand, you know, keeping away from people. You know, now for me, it's not as hard as a lot of people who know me think it is, because I like to hug. I'm a touchy feely person. You know, I see you, I hug you. You know?
Right, right.
But I got to keep my distance even from my children, from my daughter. You know, we had to do the new hell. It's a reggae tune where the brothers clicking feet. You know, no touching, no shaking hands, no fist bumps, none of that. Just the simplicity of it all.
Yeah.
But I think, as Wayne said, you know, this is a time where families can come back together, and you know, you have to tolerate one another. You don't have to like each other, but you got to love each other.
That's right. That's right.
You got to tolerate each other, and this is a time when we can learn how to love again.
Right.
And if you want to use the scripture as a reference in Corinthians, it says that first thing love is that it's patient, and then the second thing it says is that it's kind.
Kind.
And the character called Christ said that we should love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Well, if that's the case, then the first person I need to learn to be patient and kind with is me.
You. That's right.
Right. So there's a lot of different dynamics to this thing. But you know, the only thing more important than family is your personal relationship with your maker.
Yeah.
So, you know, you mad at your sister, figure it out. You know, you and your brother ain't getting along, talk about it, work it out. We're placed in positions where we have to interact with our immediate circle.
Yeah. That was great, man. I was again speaking with the producer, Rashawn McDonald. He produced all of Steve Harvey's stuff and quite a bit more stuff. And one of the things we talked about was with COVID-19 is, and we have to realize, you know, the media is saying about our condition, about health issues and all of this stuff. But we have to also realize that this is also about lifestyle, because African Americans, and we're living in low poverty areas, we're having to use the transit. So you've got people stuffed in metros, in buses, in these places where conditions it's packed. They say this virus can sit, you know, and lie dormant in places for a certain amount of time, and you got people in there. So this is also about lifestyle, where we are. So we got a lot to think about with us, you know, and about how we are dealing with this. So you know what I'm saying? So I want to open this up.
You know, Mike, I just moved, not just moved, but I recently moved from a high-rise building to a garden apartment. I was actually going my way moving south, but that kind of got short-circuited because I had some other things to do here. And now I'm in this garden apartment, and I was thinking when this all came up, I was like, imagine having to get on that elevator, and you know, and the paranoia that would come with that. You know, you got everybody with masks, don't touch me, you know, but you're in this little box. You know, I call it the faith box, because that's the only place where you can get on, and you don't think, you push a button, you don't wonder, oh God, I wonder if this thing's gonna go to my floor or not. You just get on, push the button, and
push the button and think, hey.
Man, most people, there are people who can't handle that, but most of us just get on and push the button. Well, I've seen videos where people getting on elevators, spitting on the button, you know, all kinds of craziness. So,
that's crazy. Even, it wasn't a COVID-19.
yeah, that's before COVID,
yeah. But you know what? One thing I wanted to say is we can also look at this as an opportunity to be transformed.
Yes, sir.
And not transformers.
Reinvent everything.
Yeah, because you know.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity right now to actually be transformed and not a transformer, because transformer can go right back into what it was, from a car to a robot, robot to a car. You flip that back and forth, but we actually have a time right now where we actually get to transform ourselves, you know, and make ourselves better than what we were before this COVID-19. You know what I mean? So with me, I'm looking at all different type of angles, you know, with this opportunity.
Yes.
You know,
and to expound on that, Wayne and Tony, I'm busier now than I was before COVID. When this thing hit on March, I won't forget it. The week of March 21st was the week I experienced it the most, because we shut down that week. And then 2 weeks after that, I was trying to figure out spiritually what was going on. So I took a break. I literally didn't do anything, no editing, no shows, no nothing, because we were off the radio.
You know, you need to tell folks what it is that you do. You didn't do that.
Oh yeah, I didn't do that.
Tell them about Radar Radio and all of that.
Yeah. I let you guys introduce. See how I am? I believe in letting others through the door.
I wasn't gonna let you get away with that.
I thought I was gonna get away with it.
I wanna send a shout out to my boy Alvin. I don't know, you may be
we're gonna check on Alvin Jones was supposed to join us today. And Alvin's very busy, and so we're gonna check on Alvin once we get out here. But we hope he's okay. I've done quite a few things. I started out. I actually started out as a dancer. I used to dance with groups in Alabama. A brother put me in a show, and we realized that I had some vocals. He put me in his band, his jazz band, and I started singing jazz in Birmingham, Alabama. And from there, I went on to move to Atlanta, Georgia, started working with a group called Unlimited Touch. We opened up for any act that would come through. There was a time when Vesta Williams came through. We opened up for Vesta. Vesta being a spicy Sagittarius woman, loved me, loved what I did, and I made friends with her and the musical director. A few years later, I found myself in Los Angeles with that musical director's telephone number, called him up, started singing backup for Vesta Williams, met a guy by the name of Raymond Jones. Raymond Jones did Spike Lee soundtracks, 40 Acres and a Mule. He worked with, he was one of the Fender Rhodes players for Chic. When you hear Sister Sledge, when you hear Greatest Dancer, when you hear anything by Chic, you will hear his Fender Rhodes. He's one of the greatest pianists I've ever met. And he passed in 2011. He was a great friend of mine. He took me under his wing and showed me all about studio, performing, writing, how to sing in sessions, how to coordinate with other singers, how to render yourselves in sessions. So I became a session singer in Los Angeles for 4 years. Got signed with MCA as a writer, then came to Atlanta, started working with the LaFace family. I worked with TLC for almost 10 years. When we weren't working, Tiana and I was writing. I did a poetry book, wrote for her and Mac 10, sang at their wedding. Wrote the song Tight to Death that was on the Jay-Z. It was a Jay-Z thing that he did with the DJ Clues soundtrack. Wrote Wanna Take Me Back. Wrote Tight to Death, which is by Tiana and Mac 10, the only single that they did. So, and then came here, got into film. I was doing film before I left there, was doing a film called Thorns. Came here, got into film and radio, and that's been my shebang. And right now, doing work over at Sister.
Now I'm gonna tell what you didn't tell. I said in the beginning I had a stint in the computer business.
Oh yeah.
And I was working for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and they sent me to this class, and which was right across the street from where I was working. And so I went to get the certification, and this guy was in the office and found out he was a manager, so we started talking. And as I was talking to this guy, I was listening to his voice. I said, "This dude got a voice. I think he can sing." This is in my head. I don't think I ever told you that.
Right.
And of course, as the universe would have it, we wound up talking about music.
Uh-huh.
We were thick as thieves ever since. Matter of fact, I sold him a car, but that's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, that's enough. But look, man, we're gonna go to our next subject, which is mental health. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. And as we come through COVID-19 and trying to deal with mental health issues, we celebrate this month, Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I want to ask you guys in reference to dealing with daily stress, crazy politics that are all over the place, relationships, and just daily things that are going on with finances and all of that. How are you guys dealing with that and keeping yourself mentally nourished? Because for me, it's a day-to-day thing. It's day-to-day. Like daily, I have to work on my mental stability because I'm juggling and dealing with a lot of different people, a lot of personalities, technology, finances, all of these things, paying, paying bills, all of that. So you deal with all of that as a man, and trying to also take care of other people, because I have a family member now that I actually almost sponsor, and dealing with health issues and mental health issues and all of that kind of stuff. So how are you guys dealing with that? Because for me, it's a day-to-day thing that I have to pray about, deal with, make sure everything's in the right place.
My one of my things has been for years, I'm sure I've said this to you before, is don't take yesterday, add it to tomorrow, and mess up today.
Mess up today, yeah.
Dave Willis has a piece on stress. He said, stress is someone trying to repair every situation solo. And that's where we wind up getting in a lot of trouble. We get in our heads by ourselves. And, a lot of times, a lot of the stress starts with our thinking. And we have to change the way that we think. There are other factors that are involved in that, but how we adjust to that. I've always said that acceptance is the pathway to peace.
That's right. That's right.
That don't mean it's comfortable, but we always say, I'm going through something. Yeah, but you forget that word through. Through means get to the other side of it. Go ahead, Wayne, you gonna say something?
Yeah, that's true. And Tony, I agree with what you said as far as you have to accept it. In order to work on it, you have to accept it. And one thing that I think is major with all of this is depression.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of us even suffered with depression before this.
Yes.
So now you're just putting that on top of it. I would suggest to a lot of people, if there's medication you on, please take your medication. But like Tony said, you don't want to stay up here too long.
Not by yourself.
Not by yourself. You don't want to get there. You know what I mean? And that's a hard thing to deal with. But it's just something that you gotta fight this. It's gotta be a fight, and that's with everything though. That's with everything. But we're talking about as far as being quarantined and dealing with this pandemic at this time, it doubles up on it. So a lot of people are dealing with a lot of things that some people are probably even dealing with things that they didn't even know they had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Things show up like that. Recently, a couple of weeks back, a month or so ago, a great lyricist and certainly a musician and just an all-around good dude passed away, and that was Bill Withers. And he made it so simple. We all need somebody
to lean on.
The only thing you do by yourself is go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And at the end, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, everything, the resources are there. They have to be brought together, and someone or something has to bring that together. And so I didn't make this shirt. This is my boys, DC Live, GDClive.com, DC Brother Studio and all that. I got to give it a shout out. But at the end of the day, man, we can do nothing in it by ourselves. Nothing.
Right.
We think so. I don't want nobody to talk to me. I don't want nobody to do this. But you didn't say that when it was time to go buy that soap, because somebody had to make that soap that you was using the shower with. Mm-hmm. And then you talk about the mental health in this, the piece that I deal with, in working and trying to help folks is the substance abuse piece. That's a whole nother issue in and of itself. 6.9% of African Americans in this country have a substance abuse disorder of some sort.
And I think because of COVID, this has increased.
Oh yeah.
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 Go on, Tony. You can go, but I think
A lot of things have increased, and you just don't see it.
Yeah.
And a lot of things have decreased.
Yeah.
Because
But we're talking about substance abuse. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at definitely things on television, in the news, in some of these neighborhoods where there's a little bit, crime is bumping up.
Mhm.
People are out doing drugs or getting caught, or things are out here a little bit more prevalent than they were prior to this. And that is, people are at home in their homes, not doing the right things. And that is, if you're there sitting there, like we say, find something creative to do. Find something to do that's going to be creative, that's going to move you forward, not backwards. So if you're sitting at home and you don't have anything to do and you're thinking you need to just sit up and get high, that's not going to be creative. That's not going to be productive. You need to actually be doing something that's going to elevate yourself, move you through this epidemic, this pandemic, get you through it. Don't sit up and drink a bottle of liquor all day. That's not going to get you anywhere but drunk. You need to,
Yeah.
like I say, read a book, write a book, get out and work out. Find something to do that's going to be creative and move you through this pandemic.
Yeah, this is a good time for people who actually want to start their own business.
Start your
This
own
is a good
business.
time because now you're at a level where you're thinking differently and you can put all this type of things together. Now,
Exactly.
Mike, you mentioned something about finances, how people are handling that, you know what I mean, as far as finances. So you got some people that's going to make out good, and you have some people that's going to suffer, because certain people are receiving stimulus checks, they're getting
Yeah.
extra money with their unemployment,
Mhm.
things like that. So like for some people, this is an opportunity to actually bank, get your savings to where it needs to be and everything. But then you have another group of people who needs that money to actually survive.
Survive. Yeah. Yeah.
At this time, which also makes it a mental mess up in your head, because you got families now thinking each and every day, how's rent going to get paid? How's car note going to get paid?
How am I going to eat?
How am I going to eat?
How am I going to get to work?
Unemployment hasn't came in yet.
Yeah,
I didn't get my stimulus check. You know what I mean? That's stress. That's mental, a mess up right there. And how do we deal with that?
Yeah.
How do we move forward with that?
We've gotten so accustomed to restaurants and fast foods and microwave everything that we've lost the ability to do for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Like we have to, if we don't raise it or grow it, we eat what they sell us. And we really don't know what that is.
You don't know what it is.
I got a buddy of mine, his name is Michael Lawrence. I can give him a shout out. Bad Guy Flex, he's a DC comedian. He's very into nature and animals and all that other stuff. And I saw a piece he had the other day where he had planted a garden. He got all kinds of stuff. He got squash, cabbage, whatever my grandmother used to grow back in the day up there on that hill in Virginia.
Uh-huh.
He had in that backyard. And I said, man, I need some of them organic seeds you got. Because, you can have a little herb thing growing in your apartment.
In your apartment, yeah.
You don't have to have a big yard and all of that. You just got to learn how to do things. And this is, as Wayne said, this is the time where we can learn to do new things.
That's right.
So there's so much good that can come from this if you want something different for yourself. Reaffirm, reestablish, apologize, say I'm sorry, I screwed up, because you may not get an opportunity to do that again, and so there's so many of us who have so many different kinds of challenges, but again, this thing has put us in a position where we have to really, really rely on one.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And particularly, I'm grateful for guys like Mike. I just, like I said, Alvin, I've been knowing Alvin since the 70s, before he was popular. So these are my boys. I got an inner circle of friendship, not just guys, but females as well. And that inner circle helps to hold me up. You know what I'm saying? They call and check on you. It's like, man, you all right over there? Because I know you crazy. But no, I'm good. I'm real good.
That's great, man. Before we go into our next subject, I definitely want to say thank you to our sponsor, Not Reaching, Jackie Carter, Not Reaching, for setting us up technically tonight and sponsoring us tonight and making sure that everything went smooth. So, a big shout out to Not Reaching, our sponsor. Also, want to shout out to Deborah Brown, Susie the Official, Lori Carter, Casey Love, Tracy in Boston, Phoenix, Janine and Aurora, my sister to sister crew, and also Shanetta Juliet Boone. Also, my brothers, Corey Bucket, Rob Miko, Tito Star, Six Man, the Six Man, represent you, bro. Chris
Say,
Thomas,
man,
Todd with Sister to Sister, and Peace in the Morning. I wanted to give a shout out to those guys. Before we move into our next subject, and that is guns in America.
Man, you know Rob Miko? Oh Lord.
Guns in America. He might, hey Wayne, he might pull her out.
That's
know
my
the-
boy. Oh no, you talking about
I hope he be nice. Be nice. Be nice, Tony.
well, let me say this since y'all gonna go there. And I can say it publicly now. I am a firearm owner.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty good with a pistol.
Uh-huh.
And I got a new Barbie the other day,
Uh-huh.
which I showed y'all. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know.
Now check this out. This leads me to the question because you're a gun owner, and my brother is an advocate. He's a gun owner too. He's a truck driver. He drives, makes sure he's got several guns. He goes to the gun range. He's huge on these things. He puts them up on his Facebook. He's an advocate. So when we talk about guns in America and our community, my question is, should all men, in particular, out in our culture, should all of us be armed at this point? Should we be teaching our children? Because I watched a video where a young man has his children armed. They know how to shoot. You don't want to go up in that house because if you do, you're going to get killed by a 7 or 8-year-old because these kids know exactly what to do with these guns. They know how to arm them. They know how to put those cases in, take them out, and he blindfolds them and lets them do it. And so my point is,
you're talking about Derek Grace.
I think that's him.
Yeah,
And
that's him. Derek Grace.
He's a bad brother. He's a bad brother.
He's sharp.
He's so sharp. And so my question is today is, should we be arming up? Should we be getting that? And Tony, because you're a gun owner, I want to push that topic over to you. How do you feel about that?
To answer your question, yes, you should, as a man, and let me just be talking men here.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the ladies out because there's guns and chocolate. There's some sisters out there that's serious about shooting as sport. But at the end of the day, you have a family, you need to have a firearm for protection. There's some things that you're not gonna pray away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the reality is I'm too old to fight. I ain't doing no more fighting. My hands hurt now for fighting back in the day, so I ain't doing that no more. When I first was introduced to guns, my father was dead set against it. One of his good friends took me and his son, we went out in the woods and showed us how to shoot a .22 rifle. Didn't see a gun no more till I went into, well, no, I did because I saw my father's gun. But I wasn't able to touch none of them. But when I went in the military, they taught me how to use it. And I got good at it, you know, at least with a handgun. You know, I wasn't too good with that M16, but with that handgun, I was pretty nice. And so, you know, but it wasn't until the last 5 years or so that I decided that I would purchase a firearm. I got a license to carry a firearm. And the joy or the good thing about that, this is the piece I want to expound on, is that I'm not a felon. I don't have no history of violence or any of those kinds of things, recorded history anyway, with the police. but there are things in place to specifically keep guns out of the hands of people who look like us.
Uh-huh.
Because when you fill out that paperwork, they ask the question, are you a felon? Have you had any felonies? Domestic violence? You know, all of those kinds of things. And the least little thing that we do, they tag us as being a felon or habitual offender or some of those kinds of things. and they put us in jail. So now that's a whole nother dynamic. And when you come out, you can't get a firearm because you have a tag on your back that says you're a felon. So there's a lot of different pieces to that puzzle. I'm reminded, we talked about this last night, when the Black Panthers were out in Oakland and they went to the Capitol, them brothers had firearms in their hand. They wasn't playing.
Yeah.
And the powers that be found that to be a threat to what they want to deal with. Now, you know, I don't want to sound, you know, racist, by no means, but I think the people in my community need to be strapped up and ready to roll. Because if you come to my house and my family with some foolishness, I'm gonna shoot you. Period. And I ain't got no problem saying that. But I'm not going out there looking for people to shoot.
Yeah, and you know what? And I agree with you, Tony, to a point.
Right.
Now I don't mind if we're using them for the right reasons and we're keeping protected, you know, under lock and key the right type of way, you know what I mean? Because when I look at other races, they're not the ones that's up and down the street every day shooting each other. Now, they might have some mass shootings, but when I look at our communities, that's all we do to each other.
Well,
You know,
in most cases, the people that are doing that don't have a license to carry a gun, bro,
Right.
or own a firearm.
Right.
So, you know, the bad guys, regardless of what color they are, the bad guys are always gonna get some firearms.
Right.
There's
And
always gonna be somebody. There's always gonna be a dollar involved, and somebody will pay the money, whatever it is, to get the firearm or to get whatever. I mean, I remember going through an airport one time, going through the security, and I had, you know, I used to shave I still shave with a straight razor, and I had it in my bag, and they wanted to take the straight razor, and I said, well, just take the blades out, you know. But the whole time I'm talking to the TSA agent, I'm standing there with my hand in my pocket. I got one of these in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So the straight razor was in the shaving bag, in the suitcase, and you worried about that, and I could stick it in your neck with this ink pen. Right. You know, so some things we go too far to the extreme. There are people, you have to have the mental stability to when you carry a firearm. When I carry a firearm, I am keenly aware that I have that pistol. So I don't engage people with nonsense. I walk away. You know, I had to change my thinking and my behavior, you know, because that hot-headed guy who would punch you in the mouth, and we'll talk about it later, I had to squash that guy. Yeah. You know, it's a level of maturity that comes with owning a firearm.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Wayne, go back.
Wayne just said there are things, you know, I'm talking about responsible people owning firearms. I'm not just talking about any knucklehead with a gun.
Right. Yeah. But Wayne, I do want to hear your point about that, because there is a lot of, you know, you got one side of the fence where there is, I'll simply put, terrorists that are right here on our grounds that are doing things that are inappropriate. They are terrorists. And then we have black on black crime, which is on the other side of the fence, where our kids, they're mainly kids with guns. These are kids without, and we said we're going to talk on that. That's in one of our segments. And this is truly where it's about from boys to men. And that is about boys who don't have fathers, boys who don't have mothers in the home, or if they do have them, the mothers are out working or on drugs or whatever the case may be. But these are kids having kids, having kids, having kids, and it's a cycle. These kids are now out on the streets trying to find their way, friendship, family, love. They get in gangs or what have you, or whatever the case may be, and they find themselves with weapons and trying to find their way through life. And before you know it, you're in some group or whatever, and your peers are telling you do this and do that, and you're trying to prove your manhood. You're trying to prove who you are with a gun.
Yeah.
I understand. Look at what just happened in Michigan.
Hold on one second, Tony. I want to hear Wayne's point on it.
Sorry.
Because you know what? A lot of times you don't even have to let people know you have a gun.
That's right.
Like Tony.
Surprise me. You know what I mean? But I think it's too much flashing that you have it. It's too much, you let it be too much around the house sometimes that you have it. you know, and that's what happens in our communities. So now, if you have a father and you got a son, he knows you're strapped in the house. He get mad. He's out there. He's going to you. He's going somewhere. He know you got a gun in the house. You're not home. He's going to find that gun. You know what I mean? And I just think some things are better left unsaid, or you know what I mean? It's just you know, I see that with too many people. I see too many people. They want to carry them. They have to carry. I mean, look at the churches. Let's take the churches. I'm gonna just say churches, for instance. You got people in church now carrying. I'm talking about pastors, security, all them. You're in church now carrying guns. You know what I mean? And that was never, you know what I mean? So as you look at these type of things, and I think these are the type of things that has taken away from the responsible people, you know, with guns. You know, people that are responsible, people like Tony that know how to handle that, knows how to deal with it and you know, have it the right way. You know, but it seems like when people get them guns, it's just like now, you know, they just puff up now.
Superman.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I wanna say this, Wayne. I heard what you said, but what I found out is that there were a lot of people carrying guns that I didn't know had them.
Now, in the beginning,
In church. Yeah. They weren't just guys, neither. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of women out here, particularly.
You know, a lot of women packing.
They don't get it twisted. You know, I wanted to make sure, we haven't done it yet, but I want to make sure my girls, you know, I want to teach them and show them they can take a class in gun safety and all of that. And they may never own a gun, but I would rather have my children know how to shoot and never have to do it than have to do it and not know what to do with a gun.
Yeah.
You know, so when Derek Grace is teaching his kids about, they can identify bullets blindfolded. So I commend that. I applaud that. That's my personal opinion. Because you know, I'm not gonna take no knife to no gunfight.
Yeah, as you shouldn't.
No, I ain't doing. But you know, we will not be able to cover all of the things that we had hoped to cover. But you know, Mike, I just want to say I'm looking forward to doing this again and again and again. There's so many topics that we want to talk about, but this is the maiden voyage, and I want to thank you, brother, for bringing this platform out here so we could get this together. I've had phone calls from some friends that want to be a part of the discussion.
Absolutely. We've got many segments to do, and before we leave,
ladies, don't forget the ladies.
Absolutely,
y'all.
Oh yeah. Before we leave, I want to make sure that everybody know next week we will be doing another one of these shows with the National African American Gun Association. It's going to be next Thursday at 7 p.m. Chad King of Detroit chapter will be our guest. And that's with the National African American Gun Association. So we're going to be talking to him next week about this situation with guns right here in America, and you know, us being armed, and how a lot of us don't even know the first and second and third step to even getting a gun unless you're going to get one from Joe Blow across the street. There's a proper way to get a gun. You need to go through the proper registration. Tony is very familiar with that. We're going to find out about how to do that next week. Tony will be here with us. Wayne will be here with us, our regular platform. And so we're going to be talking about this, man, because this is getting down to the nitty gritty. It's getting really serious. I've never thought that I needed a gun, but I feel like now things are changing, and irregardless to what, I need to be able to protect myself, my loved ones, and my family. I really do. So it is definitely something that is on my list of things that I might need to do.
You know, Mike, one of the things on a different note about firearms is I like shooting. I like going to the range. I like shooting. I'm not shooting nobody.
Right.
But you're not just gonna do something to me, and I ain't.
Of course.
That's not gonna happen.
Right. Right.
Whether, you know, my mama told me, I think I posted it on my page the other day. When we talk about keeping your hands to yourself, my mother told me, said, son, if anybody put their hands on you,
anybody,
and walk away. Let them have it and walk away. And male, female, or no, whatever. Keep your hands to yourself, and we don't have no problem. Yeah. So there's again, I'm grateful, man, that you pulled me into this. I'm looking forward to many, many more conversations, and the topics and things that are going to be coming up.
Absolutely. So we will let everybody know we will be back next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, right here, we'll do another live show. We'll let you all know what time. It'll be at 7:00. I'm sorry, be at 7:00, but we'll let you know what platform we'll be on.
Yeah, we have to apologize if Facebook ain't got.
Yeah, thank you for everybody for being patient. We apologize for not coming on at 7 on time, but we had some technical difficulties. We came in on 6:30 to try to get everything set up, but there was something going on with Facebook Live, so we had to move it over to YouTube because the devil is a lie. We were going to make sure that we got on to do this show. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We had a great crowd on YouTube to watch us. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Wayne Carter, Not Reaching, thank you so much, man. Make sure you guys go to www.notreaching.com, man. Please check out the Carters and what they're doing with their movement. And my guy Tony Winger, man, thank you so much, man. You're the best, bro. You're
Thank you, man.
big brother, bro.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Wayne. That's right. Thank you,
All right,
Jackie. I know Jackie in the back there somewhere.
Like she back there tweeting around with her headphones on, like they do in Hollywood. You know, the big producers.
Hey, look. I want to give a shout out to my people in Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
Waynette.
Yeah, my girl Waynette, my sister
Waynette.
Nicole. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to them, and also out to my sons.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. My nephews.
Since we shout out children and siblings and stuff, I want to shout out hopefully my sisters down in Jamaica, my sister in Jersey, my daughters Lauren, Kristen, and Natalie, wherever she's there down in the Bahamas, and everybody. God bless, be well, and don't touch nothing that don't belong to you.
That's right.
Get it to yourself and keep you some of this right here.
That's right. Right.
My cousin Pete gave me that.
Hey, bro. Look. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if I move, you might can see the lights all on the.
I know. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I also want to give a shout out to my family and to my incredibly lovely, beautiful daughter, Stacy Anderson. She's expecting we got another grandbaby coming. So kudos to my family in Birmingham, man. My aunt and everybody. I love everybody. But we're going to sign out right now. Thank you to everybody that joined us. We'll see you guys next Wednesday, 7:00. And also next Thursday, remember the National African American Gun Association on Thursday at 7 p.m. Chad King of Detroit of Detroit chapter will be here with us. Y'all take care. We'll see you next week.
All right.